Welcome. This is our third installment with Deeplearning.ai. I'm the CEO and founder of Passio.ai. We are a company spun out from Stanford Research Institute in Menlo Park. We are an AI team. So myself, Dr. James Kelly, who leads AI, Leonie is leading our platform development. That's what we will present to you guys. And Ishani is our computer vision wizard. And what we will be talking about to you guys, let me very quickly introduce who we are. We are an AI company. We build mobile AI systems. Our mission, we believe that everybody should be able to leverage the power of AI to make the world better. I think there is no single tool as powerful as AI today that's capable of improving the world at scale. And I think it's all of our responsibility as developers, as engineers, to make the world better, to leverage those tools that we've got with the AI revolution to improve the world. And this is what we at Passio are focused on. We believe that one of the most exciting and interesting opportunities is to create AI systems that are very, very specific to running AI on mobile. Everybody today is focused on building AIs for that run on the cloud, but there are many, many unique use cases where we all can have our own AI system in our pockets that provides us with tools and capabilities that are personalized to us and context specific. So what we set out to do at Passio is build AI systems that run extremely efficiently on mobile phones and AR augmented reality devices, and essentially take the inputs from the environments, listen to the users, and interact with users in the context of the real world. So I believe that the future of apps is AI enabled. There will be thousands and thousands of applications where you can point your phone into the world, get information from the world. The phone will also know about you because it's your mobile phone, and AI will basically sit and efficiently operate on the phone. And we've built a lot of use cases, and we've created a lot of exciting applications. One of the AIs that we developed is a virtual AI nutritionist. It sits inside of apps of multiple applications like MyFitnessPal, and it does computer vision and becomes your personal virtual nutrition assistant. So this is the first example of mobile AI application that we want to share. So look at what's possible when you run AI on mobile phones and inside of the mobile apps.
Welcome to Passio Nutrition AI, the future of intelligent nutrition. Our Nutrition AI SDK is a self-contained, fully functional AI module that adds effortless and highly accurate nutrition tracking to enterprise applications and products. We are privileged to power the world's leading fitness and healthcare solutions, including Under Armour's class-leading MyFitnessPal and Anthem Sydney, a revolutionary healthy patient mobile app.
So what you can see here is computer vision. AI nutritionist sits inside of the phone. It recognizes foods and helps people log nutrition. And then when you create your logs, it also will help you select the foods, buy foods, create recipes, etc. But the magic of this is that we are able to recognize and run full recognition of what's in front of the camera by running AI module inside of the phone. This data, what you are seeing here with computer vision, the data does not flow to the cloud. The computer vision happens in real time on the phone. You point the phone at the object is analyzed and recognized. Properties of that object are estimated, and then the feedback is provided to the user based on what the phone is seeing. So for example, here we're showing you the muffin and that you select the poppy seed muffin. We're showing you the tea and you can select, for example, green tea. But what's exciting here is that it is possible today to optimize AI to be both personalized, so it knows what foods, for example, you are eating, and run highly efficiently on mobile phones, which historically has never been possible before. So right now you can see that we're looking at the world through the lens of the phone, but it's obviously not a giant leap to imagine. And the world, I'm not sure you guys whether you're seeing my video as well. You can imagine running them on AR devices like the Meta Quest Pro, for example, that we are building with here as well. So AIs will run on phones and provide computer vision in real time and enable solutions like, for example, food tracking or pill tracking, medication tracking, and so much more. So this is just the first example, right? Virtual nutritionist is a very interesting example of the application. But you can also imagine pointing your phone at hundreds or thousands of other use cases. So for example, here we're pointing the phones into the rooms. We analyze those rooms and you can estimate prices of the different objects of the room, or you can enable augmented reality where you drop the object based on what the computer vision sees, right? Right now, we've all seen augmented reality applications on Amazon app or similar applications, but they are completely agnostic. They don't understand what's inside of your room, and they would drop different objects regardless of whether they are appropriate inside of that room or not. Computer vision and on-device AI will change the situation. When you point your phone in the future into your room or into any environment, the phone will understand your intent, it will know you, and it will understand the environment. Okay, this room is empty, so let's suggest a full furnishing for this room. And or you can point it at the floor with the crack and it will know, okay, I should not suggest to put the carpet over that crack. First, let's fix the crack. And that's what computer vision and on-device AI enables. So let's look how it works in real life today.
Trying to visualize wall colors in your home is never easy. Augmented reality, however, can provide a rich, immersive visual representation of painted surfaces, all in real time. As part of Passio's Remodel AI suite, we are developing AR capabilities to take advantage of the latest advancements in mobile LiDAR technology to scan walls, allowing you to visually change your wall's color and texture. With our technology, explore new wall colors in a unique way by being able to freely move around and adjust your perspective. Passio is currently developing tools that handle visual object occlusions and will be able to navigate around features like furniture, windows, and doors. These improvements will result in not only an immersive user experience for home renovation, but will also provide the user with a reliable estimate for paint quantity needed for the whole room. In addition to showcasing paint options and decorative wall coverings, our Remodel AI technology uses computer vision to recognize a wide range of surface imperfections, such as cracks, stains, paint defects, and much more.
So here, for example, you can easily see that we recognize different defects. And then once those defects are recognized, you can create e-commerce applications that will that will help people shop for solutions. And this is the power. Historically, when people needed, for example, to buy paints, they would go to the store and take samples, bring them home, or go to a Shopify, read about how you fix a crack. Right now, it all is changing. We are basically able to point the phone with AI running on that phone into the room. The phone will understand, okay, there is the crack, the huge crack, for example. And then in real time, it can tell you, this is what products you need to buy, and this is how you fix this crack. And then with augmented reality on top of this, we can visualize how the solution would look like after it is fixed. So this is the second application of mobile AI. The first one was virtual nutritionist. The second one is virtual retail specialist in home remodel space. But what you can see was the unifying nature here. What unifies both of them is computer vision, the camera of your phone or of your AR glasses, augmented reality glasses. They take the input, they take the room as the input, they analyze the room, they also learn about you as the user, and they provide you contextual recommendations on what to do. This is the future. Historically, when you wanted to buy paint, you would go to a store. If you wanted to talk to a nutritionist, you basically needed to drive or call your nutritionist. Right now, we can put all of that assistance inside of the phone. And in the past, in the last decade, the state of the art was creating, for example, digital stores on Shopify. In the future, digital stores will move into those personalized devices like mobile phones and AR glasses, where people will be able to combine the recognition of their environments with the knowledge of the person, with the recommendation from the brand. And this is the big one of the bigger opportunities for the developer community right now, building apps that basically recognize environments, recognize the world, understand the user, and provide real-time recommendation. So here is another example. This is we will dive much more into this example, but for recently, I wanted to drive to the mountains here in California, and I didn't know whether my tires are proper tires for driving in the snow environment. And historically, I would need to Google this forever, and it would take a lot of time. But with AI on device, you point your phone, the phone recognizes what kind of tire it is, and it immediately tells you what to do. Is it sufficient to drive? Is it not sufficient to drive? Do you need a new tire? If you need a new tire, you can buy a new tire through the phone. Those are the types of applications that are enabled through computer vision on device. And there are countless use cases. In our case, what we've been supporting is we've got Nutrition AI SDK, Remodel AI, and quite a handful of other SDKs. But what's more exciting, we're launching today in the beginning of this year. So now we are deploying a mobile AI platform that enables every developer and every company to build their own on-device AI. Essentially, our goal right now is to take the technologies. Our Nutrition AI assistant is the state of the art. We've been perfecting this technology for over 5 years, and now it is powering some of the world's largest apps like Simple Life, MyFitnessPal, Sydney, and quite a few others. What we are doing is we're taking this technology, the platform that enabled us to build those AIs, some of the world's most powerful AIs today, and we're making it available to the developer community so that you guys can build AI applications at scale that are not just for food or fitness or healthcare or construction or remodel, for any vertical. There are thousands and thousands of verticals that can be developed with on-device AI. And that's essentially what we would like to share with you. The platform itself that we developed has a lot of absolutely incredible AI technologies under the hood. We enable people to architect AI domains to build complex computer vision taxonomies. We enable easy and effortless data collection with the application that we will provide, annotation tools, everything you would expect basically from a state-of-the-art platform we either already have or are rapidly bringing into production. But what's most exciting is we're not just focused on, we're definitely not just focused on tagging and data. We are primarily focused on user experiences, making AI useful. And so with the Passio Mobile AI platform, what we are enabling is we're enabling you to build apps that solve real world human problems using AI. So now let me hand it over to our head of platform, Leonie, and Leonie will provide a live demo of how the platform works.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for handing it over to me, Dimitri. So what Dimitri just showed is kind of the 6-step process that we basically used the platform or early versions of the platform to develop our own internal projects, and then try to conceptualize and abstract the process of how to get from the idea to the finished app into a replicable set of steps that we could basically apply to any projects, right? And then make public as part of a platform. And so I'm going to share my screen now and show the, okay. Is the screen visible? Yes. So I'm showing the platform as with the example of this TreadSmart tire tread check project, which basically had the idea to say, do we really need to use a scent to check how dead my tire is, and if it's sufficient, can't we do that or solve that problem with AI and with basically image classification? So the current platform that you can see here is still limited, right? So it can't do everything yet. It's limited to single label image classification. It, for example, isn't supporting object detection yet. James will talk a lot about future additions and features to the platform. And maybe interesting for you as well, the hackathon that we will announce at the end of the webinar will give you, if you participate in the hackathon, you will get free access to the platform for the, at least the duration of the hackathon, basically, so that you can, basically see this exact same experience that I'm showing you right now yourself and create your own projects inside of the hackathon. So what you can see here is the home view. You can see the projects you've created and the status and the progress of these projects. And those basically represent these 6 or 5 steps from end to end, from idea to finished app. So the first step is the taxonomy or the AI domain architecture. It shows you how many labels you have created. I see that I have created 3 labels already. The next step is the image collection. You see how many images you've collected for your project. Then we come to the annotation part, how many of these uploaded images are actually annotated with meaningful data, basically. And then we have the training section and the SDK package section, where you would package your finished models into something that is usable by the Passio SDK and then able to integrate into your application. Before I go into this project in specific, I want to show you some more organizational things. For example, here, my platform account, if I go to my team, I can invite additional team members to my organization, right? I can't just use the platform as a single user, but I can decide to have a 10-member team or more to collaborate on the various steps, right? Depending on how large and complex the project is, a single user would not be sufficient to deal with it. And then for other smaller projects, one person is definitely sufficient to do everything all by himself or herself. And then under the download section, this is basically the supporting material. We have a companion mobile application on Android and iOS that is adding additional functionality to the web platform, such as collecting data with your mobile phones and also previewing and testing the SDK results and the classification models on the mobile device, where they will eventually be used by the end users. All right. So then let's go back to the home view and let's take a look at the taxonomy at basically the first start of the project. And the taxonomy basically shows you the labels you have created, in this case, 3 labels: pass, moderate, and fail. And this also shows you the concept of your project or what you actually want to recognize in the end, right? This is the defining how you set up your recognition process. So instead of saying, I want to have 3 labels, pass, moderate, fail, you could obviously also have said, I want to maybe recognize whether my tire is 8 millimeters dead or 9 or 7 or 5, right? And then have created labels such as 2 millimeters, and then basically try to collect data for the differentiation into millimeters. But in this particular case, the team that already worked on this project decided to not care about the exact millimeters, because in the end, the importance is whether the check is failing or passing, or if it's in an in-between state, like moderate. All right. Now, under the collection part here, you can see the uploads that you've, image data that you've already uploaded to your project. You can't see anything for me because I didn't work on the data collection for the specific project, and this currently shows you just the data uploaded by your own account. But here I could basically use the browser to upload new data, and I could also use the mobile app to collect data from the library or do real-time data collection. Let's go to the annotation part. This is where you can see and browse your image data that you've collected. So here under the label, I can select the labels. You can see the recently created 2mm label. Obviously, there won't be any data because I've not uploaded any data for that. But if you look at the label fail, for example, you will see that, yeah, we have in total 467 images. I can change the display size of them. I can take a look at them. We have a couple of other filter options here so that you can refine your search. Obviously, with small data sets like just 400 images, this isn't as important, but imagine you have 10,000 images here, then having several filters available is very important so that you can access specific subsets of your data. And here you can see that I have a state filter and it's set to accepted and unreviewed right now. And this is basically reflecting that we can assign, and this is very important, different states to our data, which would mean whether they go into training or whether we don't want them to go into training. So basically a curation step. And we have designed a specific view, the curator, representing this curation step. And here, basically, I can select labels that have unreviewed annotations and that I want to curate and decide whether they are sufficient for training or not. And if I click on pass, that's the only label that shows up. So that means it's the only label which has data which hasn't been reviewed yet. I can see 12 images which haven't been basically either accepted or excluded yet. So I could, for example, select 3 of them and then decide whether to accept or exclude them. And here at the right-hand side, I have images that are already accepted so that I can compare them against the criteria. And this step is obviously particularly important if you have large data sets and if you have a multi-user team where you would want to split tasks between data team members and have certain team members just working on the curation maybe, and to help them guide them through the process. So let's take a look at this image. Let's maybe look at it a bit larger. And here we can see that, well, half of the image shows the tire and half of the image doesn't show it. And maybe the decision, or maybe it hasn't been accepted yet or excluded yet because we wanted to specify a little bit more where on the image the actual tire is present. So what I can do now, I can select, for example, all 12 of them. I'm just going to do 3 now and send them back to the annotation queue. The annotation queue is basically a queue of images that waits for more specific annotation. So this is the second of these 4 tabs here. And here I can see the image and have the option to do the tagging, what is known as tagging, right? Annotating, and say at the bottom, I just have background that I don't care about. I really want to make sure that the image that I'm using for the classification is exclusively showing or more zoomed in on the actual tire. And so I could say, okay, so let's put the bounding box more close to the actual object. And then if I'm fine with the label, I just keep the label pass, right? I could change this label now here to a different label, but I won't change it right now. And then I submit the annotation. And now the next image comes in this queue because, as you remember, I pushed 3 of them to the queue. But if I go back to the curator now and select pass, you can see the image that I just, oh no, it's actually more at the bottom. Yeah, you can see the image right at the bottom. And if I click on this icon now, I can see that the bounding box is actually now posted here at the top of the image. and by doing that, you can refine your data set. All right, now imagine you have done your data collection, imagine you have done your annotations, and maybe did a curation step to accept or exclude images. Now we are coming to the training part where you actually do the training. And here you can see that there were already created a couple of data sets on this project. Data sets are snapshots of your data from a specific timestamp that allow you to train on that specific data set, that allow you to look at the statistics of that specific data set, and also allow you to compare, make comparisons against different data sets to see how much additional data you have or what are differences in the accuracies. So, for example, let's take a look at this one here. This is from October 11th. It has a, we trained on that already. It's already packaged, which means it's already packaged into an SDK package, so usable by the Passio SDK. The test accuracy is 97%, so very good. And then here you have the time it took to train, which is 20 minutes in this particular case. And the recognizable labels are 3. And that's basically the 3 labels we have seen in the taxonomy: pass, moderate, and fail. And here I can access the details and take a closer look and understand a little bit more what this data set represents and understand the context. Here, for example, I have aggregate information about how much background data and how much data I have for the recognizable labels. So in this particular case, I'd have only, let's say, right, because usually machine learning is always about very big data sets, but in this particular case, I just have 1,200 images used for the training of these 3 labels. But I have a pretty big test set. I have 300 test images, which is always good because that means that you can reliably test how well your model is actually performing on that kind of test set, which isn't used for the training, obviously. Then another thing I can do here is I can take a look at the confusion matrix based on that test set that you've collected. And for example, try to understand a little bit how I can even improve the model more. Here, for example, I see that we have some confusion between the labels fail and moderate. So basically that if right, an image or a tire is already soon to be replaced or moderate, that these 2 labels seem to be, maybe the data hasn't been divided well enough into the 2 labels, or maybe it's actually very tricky to do an exact separation because there's always a gray zone, right, where you would say this is an edge case and it's hard to say whether it's fail or moderate. All right, let's go back. And so what I could do now, for example, just to show that to you, I could create a new data set right after you have collected more data or made adjustments to your data. You would want to do another training to see whether the accuracy has improved. So I could create a new data set, and maybe just to test things out, right, or to play with it a bit, I would say, maybe there's too much confusion between fail and moderate. It's too tricky for the model to separate that. And then I would say, let's create a binary classifier that just recognizes. So I give it a name so that I can refer to that data set somehow. And I would say, let's look at my labels. What do I want to train on? I don't want to train on the 2 millimeter label because obviously it's wouldn't even be included because it doesn't have data. But I also don't want to train on moderate because I say it's an edge case. I want to exclude it for now. I want to see whether that's actually working better. Sometimes you just need to test things, right, and then can take your decisions. So I would just say let's train on pass and fail, make it a 2+ binary classifier, and then create your data set. So, and here you can see it shows up in the list as the recently created one, binary classifier. It's still building, so I can't see any information yet. Usually it's taking a couple of seconds. It depends obviously on how big your data set is and how many checks need to be run. But for this one, it's not a lot of data. It's already ready. And as you can see, it has 2 recognizable labels. If I click on details and on the dataset labels, for example, I see that I just have fail and pass included. And here I have the information about how many annotations exactly went into this dataset for the 2 separate labels. All right, I think that's it, what I wanted to show from the platform. Dimitri, can you go back to the presentation, and then I do say some few more words on the mobile apps?
Absolutely. So folks, what you've seen so far is the demo of the platform that enables you to build AI apps. And to make it a little bit more interactive, wanted to run a quick fun question. Obviously, we are all in the AI community. We're actively monitoring what's happening with ChatGPT and OpenAI and Google, Microsoft, Baidu, all of the dominant players. And what you can see, what we are doing here is actually a little bit tangential to it. We're taking those absurdly powerful AI tools and we're putting them on device to run on mobile apps. And the poll that I wanted to run is kind of, it's a semi-facetious poll about centralized or decentralized AI. What excites you the most? So don't take it too literally. This is more of a fun quest of what the dominant forces in AI will be. Will it be a decentralized community of developers building open source application, or will the world of the future be fully dominated by a handful of superpower AIs that will control our lives? Obviously, you can probably guess our opinion on the topic. We want everybody to have their own AIs and be able to build AI applications that transform the world, not let just a handful of giant players to dominate the entire game. Thank you everybody for participating. We'll let it run for a couple of more minutes, and then I'll end the poll. We'll share the results. Alrighty. So if you guys have not voted yet, you've got 10 more seconds, and then I'll end the poll, and we'll go back into the presentation mode. 3, 2, 1. The last couple of votes just came in. Alrighty, ending the poll now, folks. Share the results. All right, are you guys able to see the results? Because I'm not seeing. I'm seeing as a host, I'm seeing probably different stuff than what you guys are seeing. Okay. So looks like we've got how many people voted? 25 people voted. So looks like we've got a lot of converts who share our ideas about building the decentralized AI world. But we'll work with the entirety of the community on this. All right, stop sharing. Let me transition to the slides. And we'll go into the next phase of the presentation. Ishani.
Yeah, I just say a couple of more words, but this is, I want to keep it short. This is basically just some screen shots from the mobile companion app, iOS and Android, which is supporting additional functionality. I mentioned that you can do additional data collection using this mobile app. So this is shown on the current slide. And then if you go to the next one, Dimitri, I think this is showing, the preview, the functionality to preview and test the SDK results. So as soon as you have decided that a data set and training is sufficiently good to test it out and to package it, you can package it into an SDK package. And at that moment, it becomes available on the mobile data app to test it. You can download it and preview it and basically experience yourself how the recognition would look like if you would use it as it is inside of your application. I think that's just two examples, but yeah, Nishani will now say a couple of words on the deployment process of using the SDK inside of your application.
Thank you, Leonie. So I just already started seeing the question somebody asked about how we deploy this one in SDK and the train running model to the real-time mobile application. So Dimitri, can you move to the next page, please? Thank you. So this is our packaging interface that allows you to easily integrate the iOS and Android specific ML models. Here you can see that in a display here is on a screen is a different version of your packaging, creation date of that, build targets for iOS and Android. And if you click on one of the details, you can see about that packaging information. Dimitri, yeah, thank you. It shows you the details about the classifier information basically in your model, that data set, the number, which training number you're running, and then and the creation of that date. And here you can download your iOS and Android specific model. And can you move to the next screen, Dimitri, please? Thank you. So in here, like you asked, like how I create this package. So on the top of the screen, we have a new package button where you click on it to bring to the screen, and where you can specify your model and data set that run for that model, and then training run that associated with that run. And basically you add that package and submit. And Dimitri, can you go back to previous screen, please? Yeah, and that would bring back to this versioning of the models here, and where you can download your specific iOS and Android models. Third screen, thank you. Yeah, so this is the final integration part of it. So once you have your model, you downloaded your SDK, iOS and Android. All you have to do is in your specific IDE, you drag and drop your model. We have very good documentation to do that, like how easily it is. And all you have to do, just do the cosmetic UI change on a little bit and small amount of doing that code, and you're ready to go. And you have your license key for your own model, so it's encrypted and only does model decryption at only runtime. So that is really secure. And we created the ThreadSmart app within less than 20 hours, our first version of app. And you can see iOS and Android both. And this make it app really easier for us because it was collecting the data was so easy by using the Passio data collection app. In a one-click upload, you have a label data, pass it to AI training pipeline. And I don't need to do much coding because SDK is already integrated. All I had to do the drag and drop the model. So that makes my life easier. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Ishani. So basically what we enable with the platform is you can go from an idea, okay, I want to inspect tires, or I want to inspect pipes in the field, or I want to inspect different herbs, or I want to inspect different skincare conditions, or I want to inspect different products. There's countless number of use cases. You can go from your phone not recognizing them to your phone running computer vision and providing users recommendations about those products within in some cases hours, and but not historically it would take months to build an application like this, and now we're compressing the development into hours. So James, let's talk a little bit about the underlying AI technology.
Yes, so I'll start off by talking about the current features that are in the platform, then move on to what's coming up. So as Leonie outlined, right now you can train an image classifier model on the platform. The underlying architecture that we've chosen for that pipeline is EfficientNet V0. The reason that we chose that architecture is because it gives really good inference time on both Android and iOS, and it's a small model. It's suitable for mobile AI, and we get good results with it. We get good metrics with it. So when you're running a training run on our platform, you're training a model with the initial weights that have been pre-trained on ImageNet 21K. This allows us faster training time, and it leads to you getting better results with less data. So under the hood, what's happening is we are launching training pipelines on Google Vertex directly from our platform. So depending on the amount of data, the training duration will be different. A small project like with 1,000 images, like TreadSmart that we just looked at, we're looking at about 15 minutes. If you get like 100,000 images, around 4 hours. As Leonie's already shown, we offer a range of metrics after the training. Dimitri, could you maybe skip to the next slide? I'm conscious that you've seen these sorts of things already, and time is getting on. But as Leonie mentioned, you can see your confusion matrix that can really help guide your data curation and collection. And also you can see the kind of overall metrics for the pipeline, how things have worked. So you can get a good feel for high level, has your last round of curation and inspection helped you improve your model? Okay. So upcoming features, you can try this right now in your browser, labs.passiolife.com. But one of the things that we're working on right now is using text prompts only to develop an image classification model. So you can see in this GIF on the side that the model starts out and it only knows about walls, hands, and cups. So it can't recognize the leaf and it can't recognize the paper with Tada written on. All you need to do is provide some text prompts and you get a model that can recognize those things. You can experiment with this in real time with your webcam using your web browser right now. But in the future, what we're going to do is allow you to save and download this model in the same way that you can download models from the platform in an SDK that you can then take and put on the phone. It will be small enough to run end-to-end in the phone. So, well, it already is. We've done some clip-like training on the Leon dataset to really compress that image classifier down to a size small enough to run on the phone. So what we see right now is that this is going to be a really good way for users to really quickly get up and running with a model. So that's how we see this right now. No data, type some text, and you get something usable really quickly. And Dimitri, if you could
yeah, let me actually just double click, emphasize how transformative this is historically for us to train computer vision to run on any set of classes. It's been imperative to have thousands and thousands of images, and right now with the Mind's Eye tool and what we are integrating into the platform, you just type prompts saying, okay, I want to recognize this 10 skincare conditions, or I want to recognize bald tires from completely brand new tires, bike tires from car tires. And out of the box, you get a recognition system that is able to recognize quite well the classes that you described. And so it further reduces, and then if it doesn't recognize, then you can use the platform to collect a little bit more images, and then the recognition starts working. So basically, it transforms the way AI applications are built.
Yeah, so as Dimitri said, you will get an initial model, and maybe in the real world, you'd see that there are a couple of classes that are suboptimal, and maybe you want to augment those with actual image data. So we're working on a multimodal few-shot learning pipeline where you can identify those areas or those labels where you are maybe a bit short on performance, collect a small number of images, and see that those images and text embeddings can train to get a good model. And we anticipate this will really ease that burden of data collection and curation, and we will also not compromise the model performance. So yeah, that could be really transformative and really speed up that sort of AI development. Talking of speeding up the AI development, we're in the process of integrating synthetic data generation with stable diffusion models like DALL-E into our platform. So this can supplement data shortfalls for certain classes. It can also really help with data collection where it's kind of challenging to collect that data. So we've got this example of beefsteak here. It's kind of messy to go out and collect that, and maybe expensive as well if you've got to buy lots of different steaks and take them out of the packaging. If you can generate those images and those images that look good, that can save you a massive amount of time. We are getting good results when we train on this sort of data, but it really is important as well to do that curation. You have to check for anomalies. It's not perfect yet, but overall, it's a really good addition to your productivity. It's a big productivity boost. Could we go to the next slide, Dimitri? I think Leonie also mentioned earlier, object detection is kind of an obvious next step for us that we are adding. We have a prototype available. Well, it's not available yet. We are in the process of integrating it into the platform. Currently, we're using YOLO v5. We're also looking at newer architectures like YOLO v7 and v8. It's kind of a fast-moving world, as all of AI is. But yeah, we are zeroing in on our object detection offer. Move to the next slide, Dimitri. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about things that are maybe a little bit further out, R&D things without a defined timeline. But we are working on things like region clip from Microsoft, zero-shot object detection. So taking clip models and allowing them to do object detection. We think this could be really powerful, especially if we could do that, and the multimodal few-shot object detection would be really good. I think really helpful for people. Nano GPT. If you've not watched the tutorial from Andrei Karpathy, I really suggest you take a couple of hours to watch that on YouTube. It's really good. But we are probably going to use this in our Nutrition AI SDK for things like search, question answering, and autocomplete. And once we have that capability nailed down, that will go into our platform. Also, configurable classifier and object detection pipelines. You can choose a bigger model if you want. Like maybe you're not as concerned about the model size and you want to get better performance. You may want to go up to FissionNet B3 or something. Hopefully in the future you're going to be able to do that. That's in active development. So I'll hand back to Dimitri to announce.
Yeah. So folks, to conclude this, the platform will enable the community of developers and companies to build AI applications and deploy those AI applications at scale. What we are excited about is the world where phones can recognize everything, and that there can be recognized, and start helping users interact with the world based on the recognition results and be personalized, context-specific, intelligent AI. We are launching the hackathon to support this, and there will be prizes. Teams who will develop the applications, we will work with those teams very, very closely. You guys will be the vanguard of the movement that we are starting, of the community that we are starting. So there will be a lot of support. It's not just a competition, it's also cooperation with us to build the AI-powered apps of the future. You can get the information about this on Passio.ai hackathon sign up. And we will also send this information to all of the participants and people who signed up via email, so that you guys get this information, be able to sign up. We would absolutely love you guys to share this with others, so that you could potentially invite other people to participate, and get the spread the word about the opportunity and about the hackathon. Invite others to participate and share this with others. So that's essentially a quick summary of what we are rolling out. Would be absolutely delighted for as many of you guys to participate as humanly possible. And to conclude the webinar, we'll launch one. I was thinking of launching one quick poll, but for some reason Zoom is not cooperating. So we'll be around for another few minutes. Would absolutely love if you guys have questions about the hackathon, if you have ideas that you want to share with us, if you want to engage with us, ping us right now in chat, or feel free to reach out to us via Passio.ai or you can also reach out to me directly at Dmitry@passio.ai.com, and we'll handle your questions, get you engaged, get you enrolled. So let's see, any questions in the Q&A section? Let me launch another quick poll real quick. Are you guys able to see the poll, the poll? Let's see if you guys can. Let's do a quick poll, answer some questions. So essentially the poll is, what are you the most would be the most helpful for a platform like this to support you guys building the mobile AI apps of the future? And thanks for voting. Are we getting any let's see, any additional questions? Thank you guys for voting. So we've got lots of feedback. No code or low code solution. Yes, we are essentially trying to find a balance with the platform, making it as little code as possible. At some point we will be able to build apps in GUI. Right now, it's kind of a low-code solution where we provide a lot of open source and a lot of code that you will need to build apps, but it's still kind of no-code solution. And yeah, would love to engage with the community to build as many of the open source tools as possible for this. All right, so we just finished the poll. Thanks everybody for participating in the poll. And let's see, we've got another question in the Q&A. Yeah, thanks, Benny. Big shout out to Benny Chung. I'm a big fan of your work. Hopefully we'll get to work together. All right, let's see. Do we have more questions? If no more questions, then let me thank everybody. Oh, hold on. One more question. What's going on? If no more questions, I would like to thank everybody for joining us today. We are absolutely extremely excited about this launch and about building the community. We look forward to your participation in the hackathon, amazing prizes and amazing apps that will be built. So thanks, everybody. Looking forward to working with you all. Let's wrap up. Leone, James, any words? Any last thank yous?
No, thank you all for listening, and hopefully we managed to answer your questions as well as possible.
All righty. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Yes.